Okay, this is number 16 on the chapter 1.1 and 1.2 review. These are sharing job problems. And so here, number 16 says, working alone, Jenny, it takes Jenny 13 hours to clean an attic. Willie can clean the same attic in 14 hours. So how long will it take them together? So how long together? So basically, we're going to set up a problem where we have Julie's rate plus Willie's rate, and then that's going to equal them together. And for these, we always put 1 over the amount of time that it takes them. So Jenny, it takes 13 hours. And for Willie, it is 14 hours. So 1 over 13 plus 1 over 14. And together, we don't know the amount of time. So 1 over x. And now we have to solve this equation. So to solve this, we want to get rid of the fractions. And we're going to take 13 times the 14 and then also include the x. So 13 times 14 is 182. And then we use the x. So we're going to distribute that. And so 182x for the first one times 1. And then we divide the 182 divided by 13 is going to be 14. So that simplifies down, and then you have x go along with the 14. When you distribute over to the second fraction, you have the 182x. So you have 182 divided by 14, which is 13, and then the x goes with the 13. And 182 times the third fraction, so 182x. And here the x's cancel, and you're left with 182. So now we just combine the like terms here. We get 27x equals 182. And we divide by 27 to get x equals 6.74 hours. Okay, on to number 17. It takes Julio 14 hours to harvest a field. So 14 hours for Julio. Shreya can harvest the same field in 10 hours. If they work together, how long will it take them to work together? So again, we're going to have add the two rates together. So Julio is one job in 14 hours, and Shreya can do the same job in 10 hours, so 1 over 10. And we don't know how long it will take them to work together, so we put 1 over x. So here I could take 14 times 10, and then the x to get 140x. When I distribute here, the 140x will be divided by the 14 to get 10x. When I distribute to the second fraction, the 140x will divide by the 10, and 140 divided by 10 is 14x. And then over to the last fraction, I have 140x divided by x. The x's will cancel, and I'm going to be left with 140. And now I add 10 and 14 together to get 24x equals 140. And when I divide by 24, I will get x equals 5.83 hours. Okay, so no charts, no tables for this. We just need to remember that we do these fractions, and it's always going to be one job over the amount of time it takes them to do that one job. Okay, and now here we're going to solve for x. We have a bunch of variables here, so what we need to do is we need to move some things around and somehow get the x's on one side so that we can get x by itself. First, I need to see I have a fraction here, so I'm going to multiply by the denominator of 2x. I'm going to multiply that on both sides. So on the left-hand side, it'll cancel out, and I will have x plus b. On the right-hand side, I have 4 times the 2x, which is 8x. And at this point, I have variables on both sides of the equal sign, so I'm going to get them on the same side. So I'm going to subtract the ax from both sides, and I will have b is equal to 8x minus ax. Since I cannot actually subtract those, it's just written out. But what I need to do is I see x in both terms, so I'm going to factor out the x to get 8 minus a left inside parentheses. And then I will divide by the 8 minus a, and that cancels out to leave x by itself. So b over 8 minus a is equal to x. And finally, the last problem. We are solving for w. There's only one term with w here, so I'm going to, the way I see it is I see a 2 here for both of these, and I can factor that out right away. So 2 times L plus W, and then I could divide by the 2. I get P over 2 equals L plus W. And then I'm going to subtract the L from both sides, and I just have P over 2 minus the L is equal to W. And that's the end of the review.